Hi there, it's wee Claire here, and this is Game On Expo, and I'm with a wonderful friend of mine who you might recognize from the Hitman series. Yes, it's Jane Perry. Hi, Jane, how are you doing?
I'm really well, thanks. Thank you so much for having a chat with me.
Yes, I'm excited. But are you excited to come to Phoenix? Because I don't think you've been over to Arizona before, have you?
No, this is my first time. I'm so looking forward to it. And I've just started to have a little look and see what's around and what to do. And I'm super excited.
From your perspective, because I know being from the UK, before I ever came to places like, say, Dallas or Phoenix or LA, I had this idea in my mind of what these places would be like. So when
Yeah.
I say to you, Phoenix, Arizona, what pops up in your head?
Desert, heat, and like cacti,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
spiky. Or have a cactus. I expect to see expect to see things like this just growing naturally.
Yes, but a lot larger. A lot larger.
Oh, yeah, really, like that,
Does your
basically.
cactus have a name? I need to know if it's got a name.
Oh, I think we should name it right now. It was sent to me. It was a gift in the post, and it showed up all sort of like, crumpled, and but it's super resilient. So, um, I don't know what we should call it. What's a good name for a resilient cactus? Herman?
Norman, did you say?
Herman.
Oh, no, Herman.
Yeah.
I kind of like, I like Herman. I kind of like Norman because it's so normal. It's just like,
Okay.
it's not, hi, I'm Norman and my cactus.
How about Herman Norman?
Herman Norman. Okay, we got it. Okay.
That's Herman. That's Norman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Herman Norman, everybody. There you go.
Yay, we'll
The-
see more of these. Yay.
I don't think you're going to be disappointed because there's a lot of desert and it's very, very hot. So I think you're going to enjoy it. But have you done any American conventions before?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
So I'm really looking forward to this. I just can't wait. There's so many things I can't wait to see and experience whilst I'm there. And of course, meeting fans is such a big part of that. But I'm so looking forward to the cosplay. I love that so much.
yes,
And
yes.
just seeing what everybody gets up to, what they're dressed like. I know there's going to be a cosplay competition, so I really hope I can sneak away and just observe a bit of that.
Oh, yes. The cosplay is absolutely brilliant. It's going to be great. I want to see some people cosplaying your characters as well because, obviously David Bateson's going to be there. I feel like a Hitman cosplayer, Diana Burnwood, is quite easy. I feel like,
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's an easy one. I think maybe Rogue from Cyberpunk would be a good one to aim for. I've seen some cosplay of Rogue, and I must say I
yes,
was mightily impressed.
yes.
But yeah.
What kind of, when you do go to conventions and you do meet fans, what kind of, who do they connect to most? Because you've played so many different characters and really critically acclaimed games. But who do the fans kind of connect to the most, would you say?
I would say it really is Diana Burnwood from Hitman and also Rogue from Cyberpunk. And funny enough, well, it's not funny enough, but also Karen Bowman from Ghost Recon. Um, and those are the ones that kind of show up the most. And I think with Hitman, this game has been around for such a long time. It's such an iconic title. And I've been playing that role for about 8 years now. So I just had a lot of time, I guess, to make an impression on people with that particular character. And I would definitely say that she is the one that is the most popular.
From an acting standpoint, I'm curious because not many actors get to live in a role for so long or return to a character over and over again. So from the point of when you take that role and you have that impression of who that is to now, how does that change for you when you're acting in that role and becoming that character? Does your idea change? Do you play it differently over time? How does that
Well,
feel as a creative?
Yeah, that's such a good question because I think obviously there's the actor playing the role, and then there's the other people around the creation of that character and the evolution of the character, and which, would in this case be the writers. And I think the writers of that character have allowed Diana to evolve and shift and change, in particular in regards to her relationship to Agent 47.
Mhm.
And they've allowed some deeper connections between the two of them. So for me, really, it's just a case of honoring what's on the page and playing what's on the page when it shows up. And if I started to see that she was being fleshed out a little bit more, so I would just bring a little bit more of myself to it, maybe think about, what's going on in the circumstances and try to really lean into that. And in doing so, like the more you have to chew on, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
So it's such a pleasurable process, when you start to realize, oh, my character is becoming much more nuanced, and has sort of higher peaks and valleys, as it were. It's fun.
I know that a lot of actors get asked how much of yourself is in this role, etc. So I'm not going to ask that question. But what I will ask is, do you think there is not a danger, that might be the wrong phrase, but perhaps sometimes maybe a hesitance to put a lot of yourself into roles because, I watch performances by, say, Tom Cruise. Let's choose a really big actor. And I always think, that's so Tom Cruise. That's so him. He's so just Tom Cruise. But for you as an actor, do you try and kind of step away from that, or do you feel comfortable putting yourself into a role?
Yeah, I do feel comfortable putting myself into a role now because I have a process for getting out of it, or what they call de-rolling. And I really rely on that process. Like in particular for things like Returnal, which is a psychological sort of horror sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would go into that space, but I'd really be clear that I would come out of it. And I have a little sort of ritual that I engage in. And I just make sure that I'd shake that off before I got home. Otherwise, I think it can really affect your psyche. And I know so many actors, kind of learn this on the job, as it were. You have to figure out your own way to step out of that character. And sometimes when you don't, you get into a little bit of trouble. So we figure that out, and it's important.
Yeah, it's very, I don't think people realize that. And I'm not an actor. I've done classes and things, and there was a class I did where I was in tears during a scene. I don't know, it just the words on the page spoke to me, and I couldn't stop crying, and it worked for what I was doing. But it's exhausting. I was so exhausted when I got home. Do you find that as well? Like there's a lot of self care after you do certain things.
Yeah, for sure. It can be really exhausting, but equally, it can be quite energizing too, because I think I was listening to somebody talk about unexpressed emotions and how it's like the sediment that just sort of collects in the bottom of your being. And after a while, it can weigh you down. And I think actors always have the chance to sort of shake up that sediment and just get rid of it by
Yes.
expressing these emotions that our characters are going through. So I think in games, what can be exhausting is recycling the same emotion over and over and over again for a 4 hour period where you really are just stuck in the circumstances that generate that emotion. So that can be hard if it's a difficult scene. But, in other forms of acting where you're maybe going through in a more sort of beginning and middle and end sort of way, it can be incredibly cathartic. Like, I mean, it's great to sort of run around screaming and yelling and getting in all these. Normally we don't get the chance to do that in so-called real life. So that can be kind of a nice thing to do.
I found the accessing sadness and anger was the easiest for me. I'm from Glasgow, so that's probably that's very on brand. But for I found happiness and expressing that much harder. Are there emotions that stump you, that you find more difficult to access? Would you say?
I think I might be on board with you on that one. I think anger, sadness,
Mm.
uh, I can access that quite easily. But joy, yeah, it's funny because there's times when I'm like, how would I, if I was really
Yeah.
happy, and I have to sort of work my way through that, which is sort of weird, isn't it? When you realize, oh, right, but I do notice that with a lot of actors, and I don't know what that's about. But sometimes if I'm coaching somebody and I say, okay, let's just toss in a little laugh there, that little laughter can sometimes not sound very true. And I think we have to find our way into things that really do make us laugh authentically. Everybody's got a very different sense of humor, and you have to find that in yourself. And
Yes.
and the same with expressions of joy. But yeah, it's an interesting observation. I hope it doesn't mean that we have more sadness and loss in our lives than we have joy.
Look, my excuse is I was brought up in Glasgow. So, I mean, I will always have the sadness and the anger. Like, that's always in me. But it's hard to kind of. I was doing something recently and then my voice coach was like, yeah, pop in a laughter, pop in a little bit like, oh, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
it'll make your voice sound warmer. And I was like, how do I sound happy? It's so strange. I don't, well, just now I'm genuinely happy. I'm smiling and I'm seeing my friend on screen. But yeah, to access that, don't know why. We're just miserable,
Yeah.
Jane. I think we're just miserable.
It's miserable. I noticed the other day, I was looking at my date of birth. I had to fill in a form or something, and I was like, oh, I was born on a Monday. And isn't the expression Monday's child is full of woe? I was like, is that true?
Is it? Was Wednesday? I think I was Wednesday. What's
Right.
that?
No,
Wednesday's child is
full of
miserable. It's midweek. We're neither at the
Wednesday's,
beginning or the end. It's-
right, Wednesday's child should get together with Monday's child, and they should go and like have a cocktail.
and here we are. And we will in Phoenix, we absolutely will. But
For
we
sure.
need to talk about games because this is Game On Expo. Now I know that you're not a gamer, Jane, but I wanted to ask what kind of gamer are you in the sense of when you're sitting around, you're playing board games or card games with people, are you a team player? Are you competitive? What kind of gamer are you?
I am totally competitive.
Are
And
you?
yeah, and it kind of takes me by surprise. Like I just sort of feel it like erupting inside me, like I have to win. I was playing, I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, but I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog with a little person in my life who's all of 6 years old, and we were playing it together, and he's like fabulous, and of course I'm not great at playing games, but I was giving it a good shot, and I just was like, I'm gonna win. I don't care if you're only six. I'm gonna win this game.
I love
Um,
that. I love
and
that.
I was a bit embarrassed.
Oh
Um,
no. I
yeah.
love that. I would never have thought you were like that, Jay, because you're always very calm and collected, and I've never seen that side of you before.
No, it's there. It's there. And yeah, and I'm sort of it's one of those moments in life where you're like when you surprise yourself a little bit, suddenly like there's this little bit of you looking at yourself going, "Is that you? Weird."
It's uncontrolled. I'm trying really hard to control it's because I'm quite an impulsive person. It's controlling impulses, controlling like
Mm,
saying something, or it's very difficult. I find it very hard.
well,
Are you like
yeah.
sorry, go on, Jane.
I was just gonna say, like, I think, when you're playing a board game, what I also really enjoy is pretending that I don't have a good hand,
Oh,
or if I do have a good hand, hang on, pretending that I don't have a good hand, or pretending that I do, as the case may be, and psyching people out. That's another thing that I start to do when I'm playing a game. And again, I'm like, But this is, of course, a benefit from being an actor is that you just start to play a little role. And I think that's quite
oh.
fun.
I'm learning so much about you right now. I've known you for ages. I'm like, Jane, okay, all right. Kind
Yeah.
of, I want to like try and draw these things out of you now when you're in Phoenix. Like, just
Mm.
try and see if I can, like, just draw it out. See if I can make you angry on stage at a panel or something. See if we can.
You will not succeed. I have to get a cat. Hang on a second.
Go
Here she
for it.
is. This is my orange cat. Look, she's biting me. I know you have an orange cat too.
I
She's about
do.
to attack me. Okay.
Oh,
Anyway, I just want to.
I love orange cats. I love orange things. Oh my
Me
God.
too. Yeah, me too.
So
Yeah.
cute. Um, Jane, what are you looking forward to the most apart from seeing Phoenix and coming over to this side of the world? Game On Expo specifically, what are you looking forward to?
Do you know, it's such a great moment to meet up with other actors as well. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm so looking forward to the cosplay and just seeing what everybody shows up wearing and interacting with that. But equally, of course, David Bateson will be there, who plays Agent 47, and I'm so fond of David, and I always look forward to seeing him. So that will be great. And Tim Downey from Baldur's Gate is going to be there, and as you know, his character, my character, Mistra in Baldur's Gate, they have a little thing going on. So it'll be nice to hang out with him. And there's just some wonderful actors there. Courtney Taylor, Elle Newlands, just loads and loads of people that I don't get to see that often.
Yes.
So that's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I always feel like with conventions like this, it feels like a school trip where everyone's like, wow, like I've not seen you for ages. And that feeling tends to carry through the weekend through fans and panels. It's a really nice energy. So
Mm.
I do hope that you'll enjoy it. And I'm sure the fans are very much looking forward to seeing you. As I said, this is your first American, or one of the first American trips over for conventions like this. So
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
exciting. So, do you
I,
have anything you want to say to people before you arrive at Game On Expo?
I would just like to say I'm really looking forward to meeting you there. And I think it's going to be a great weekend. And I am just delighted to be attending.
Yeah. Jane, we are very excited to have you at Game On Expo. We cannot wait to meet you. And thank you very much for chatting with me.
Oh, thank you, Claire. And I can't wait to see you as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jane. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.